Hi, this is Firestarter and this is my review of the S.I.C Kamen Rider G Den-O from episode Yellow. And what we have here is the box art for this exclusive figure. And I'm just gonna give you a quick tour. So here it is, Kamen Rider G Den-O. Yep. And at the back, one of his poses, just one. That's how most of the exclusives are in the S.I.C line. And then, I'm not gonna take this too long for the intro. Let's move on with the review. And these are the accessories you are going to get when you purchase your old S.I.C Kamen Rider G Den-O. We have the Dengasher pieces for the belt, 5 swappable hands, 2 kinds of rider passes, the G Dengasher in gun mode and in Jutte mode. G Den-O belongs to the old S.I.C wherein it's easy to swap hands because of its peg sliding system. But with this, you come face to face with a difficulty in placing the weapons in. Because the fingers are molded closely together, you have to squeeze your way through so that the handle of the weapons are fastened tightly on the hands. But once everything is in, the G Dengasher in Jutte mode and in gun mode are 100% secured on these. And that is the same when you let him hold the rider pass. The separated Dengasher pieces can be pegged all together to form one huge G Dengasher. With the exception of the huge blade, it can also match the length and the mold on the Jutte mode. But it is not the real purpose of these parts. They are actually needed to be pegged on to G Den-O's belt and holstered in if you're not using any weapons for the poses. Before we move on to this review, I just want to show you some of my biggest complaints about this figure. First, let's look at the weapons, because both are really flimsy, unpolished, and not really thought of, because like for example the blade does come off, it moves, it comes off, and it's susceptible to breakage. And then look at the end where the blade is. So what's that? It's not even glued on the end. So I'm not really sure why they did that, but it's there. You can glue it yourself, but it shouldn't be your problem initially. It should be the manufacturer's initial thought on the weapons. I understood why you can easily take this one out, because it's really hard to put these weapons on the holding hands. So the main thing I would do is to slide this one underneath and then let it squeeze throughout the hand, and so that it pops out, and then you can put back all the weapons in. But that is not my biggest complaint. Look at this gun. You can even take this one out, and I do understand why this is made as is, because again, it's not easy to place the handles on the holding hands, so that's why. But I couldn't understand why the blade has to come off too, because you can glue it, but it shouldn't be an issue really, because you don't need to hold this or hold the end of the gun. So I'm not really sure why, but it's there. Next, what I wish this figure could have is to have a default version of the holsters, because these have pegs. So whenever you use the weapons, these protrude and it's not really nice. And one biggest complaint really on Kamen Rider G Den-O is these panels on the thighs, because they are really loose and not glued together. I'm not really sure why it has to be loose, because you don't really need to take these out and then transform to other things. But it happened to Kamen Rider G Den-O. So those are my complaints, but let's move on to the good parts on G Den-O. Like for example, these rider passes. You can see Eve on the other side, and then the other one, I think it's for the full charge mode. So it's highly detailed, it's there. It's nice that I have this on the S.I.C, because the S.I.C Figures version didn't have one. And then die-cast parts would be here on the shins, the ankle, and then here at the bracelet. The rest, no. That's the only metal or die-cast parts on Kamen Rider G Den-O. Possibilities, although he has a neck and head joint, you can't really move that in different, well, in more dynamic poses, because it's quite hindered in some way. Shoulder pads here, upper bicep swivel, joints here, and I really like the old S.I.Cs because it's a peg system, whereas in Kamen Rider O's it's a ball joint, which doesn't really work and the hand just sinks in. But they should be returning, well, the guys who are creating S.I.Cs should, I believe, should bring back the peg system on the hand when you want to swap things from the figure. Waist articulation, hip movement, and then double jointed knees, swivel here, extra pivot point on the toe, which is nice. And then we have absolutely nice detail about G Den-O, despite the problems on the weapons and some of the parts. Pattern from a police car, so we have the red and blue visors here, so as the wing here at the back. So everything there, despite the problems I had initially on this figure, the rest and the mold seems nice. Even though Kamen Rider G Den-O is aesthetically pleasing, the whole set can be summed up in 3 words: unpolished, crude, and flimsy. If Bandai wants to popularize the S.I.C line to mass market, especially for those toy collectors who are into Kamen Riders, the execution must be done right. You shouldn't be getting poorly executed weapons and even loose parts on the actual figure. If you want to enter the S.I.C line, I would highly recommend not to get Kamen Rider G Den-O because it has too many execution flaws and absolutely shy you away further from the S.I.C. And that is my review of the S.I.C Kamen Rider G Den-O. If you want to know the possibilities for this figure, always check out the photos at the end of the video and subscribe to my blogspot for the full written review. This is Firestarter. Thank you very much for watching and see you on my next review.